JP Morgan apre alle cripto. Quali sono le prospettive per l'ecosistema delle criptovalute?
Jamie Dimon, who not too long ago called Bitcoin a fraud, is now singing a different tune. Since 2024, I've seen noticeable shift in his stance, and honestly, that says a lot. Bitcoin is no longer a speculative asset floating on the fringes. It's been taken seriously. It's been taken seriously by institutions, by corporate treasuries, increasingly by policymakers. Now, JP Morgan stepping in isn't just about optics, it's a strategic move. As institutional inflows pick up and the regulatory landscape sharpens, big banks aren't dabbling, they're adapting. Not because they suddenly love, decentralization, but because they don't have a choice. Clients want it, and if they don't move and they don't move faster, someone else will. We are also seeing new legislation come into play, giving traditional financial institutions the confidence engage with crypto without worrying they are stepping into some legal quicksand. That said, let's not be naive. With institutions piling in, we'll likely see more short-term volatility and over the time more centralization. It's a trade-off. The very players Bitcoin was designed to cut out are now stepping back in. But there is the flip side. Of course, JP Morgan's presence brings scale. And not only JP Morgan, any large institution brings scale. They are onboarding millions of users, retail, corporate, institutional, all at once. That kind of exposure isn't just growth, it's acceleration. What's fascinating is how the narrative has been flipped since then. The same assets Wall Street once mocked is now sitting in their portfolios. And who knows, if the trend continues, even Buffett might come around.
A fronte di quello che ci ha detto, che valore potrà raggiungere quest'anno il Bitcoin?
We are not just watching history unfold, we are in the middle of the full circle moment for Bitcoin. Conservatively, I see us breaking past $200,000 mark before the end of the year. But if you are being bold, and let's be honest, Bitcoin doesn't move in straight lines. Therefore, I wouldn't be surprised to see us push closer to $250,000 mark by the end of the year. If you ask me why, a few key drivers. First, the macro picture is shifting. With tariffs easing and global growth back on the table, we are seeing renewed capital flows into digital assets, mainly Bitcoin. Bitcoin isn't just benefiting, it's leading the charge when it comes to cryptocurrencies. Secondly, let's take a look at the supply. For example, exchange supplies and exchange reserves are nearly in historic lows. That tells us holders, both retail and institutional, aren't trading. They are holding, aka storing value. And when supply tightens like that, it naturally props up price stability and limits downside risk. On the other end, Bitcoin is starting to behave like a proper macro hedge. It's showing resilience during geopolitical shocks, and also we are seeing signals of decoupling from the traditional asset market and equities. That's huge. Institutions aren't treating it like maybe anymore. They're treating it as an insurance against systemic risk. That's why we see so much inflow from institutional side towards the Bitcoin and Bitcoin reserves. So, in my opinion, $200,000 is within the reach, but it may not be the ceiling. It might just be the halfway point, in my opinion, and maybe we can see even $250,000 by the end of the year.